Hi everybody, Dr. Fixmaster here. I've had squeaking or squealing in the belts of my Toyota Sienna minivan, so I'm going to show you how to fix that today. It's real easy. Let's get to work. Okay, here's looking into under the hood of the minivan, and I had a new alternator put in because I got sick of the noise that the old one was making. And if you see right there, they put a new belt on, but they didn't tighten it up quite enough, so it was squealing when I first started in the morning. So to do this, there are three bolts that you have to deal with. Two of them down there are 12 millimeter bolts, and up here you've got a 14 millimeter bolt. Now you have to loosen up that 14 because this whole alternator assembly has to pivot in order for the belt to tighten. Now down there, when you loosen the furthest one down, you can see, yeah, I wish I had three hands, but the one pointing up there, it's actually not up in the car, but it's pointing toward the passenger side. And then the one just above it. So the one above it is the one that actually adjusts the belt tension, and you have to loosen the one below it there. My terminology is very poor. When you're working on I said above it before, but it's better to think about it as being below it, because when you're looking down into the hood, it's below the other one. So the one below it has to be loosened up so that you can make the adjustment, and then after the adjustment is made, you tighten the one below it back down to hold it into place, and then this whole assembly will rotate while you're doing that, while you're cranking that top bolt there. And then when you're all finished, all you have to do is come back over here and tighten that down. You'll notice I have a poor man's extension on there. Please don't bust up your knuckles by trying to force it. Just put an extension or whatever you can find on the end of your wrench so that it gives you a little bit more leverage. And you know, nobody wants to bloody up their knuckles doing this. So it's a really easy thing to do, and you just I usually like to give it several turns on the wrench down there to tighten up the belt a little bit. I'll figure out here just in a second how which direction that top bolt goes to loosen or tighten it up, and I'll let you know, and then we'll be okay. On inspection of this whole setup, you can tell that the bolt that's on top that you do the tightening with, that has that black metal around it, that black metal is fixed into place and is bolted to the engine block, so it doesn't move. Now what you want to do is, as you screw that in clockwise, it's going to pull up on that other little bracket below it, and in effect tightening the belt. So you go clockwise there to tighten the belt and counterclockwise to loosen it. One thing I forgot to mention was that that top bolt, when you're doing the adjusting, is a little bit tricky to get to. I mean, it's right there, but there's not a lot of room for maneuvering. But if you put just a short extension on your 12 millimeter socket, that gives you just about the spacing that you need to maneuver in there and get that thing tightened and loosened. Okay, the way to tell if you're almost there is if the belt is quiet when you're running the car, when you start it, and when it's cold, and when it gets hot. You know, all temperatures, it's nice and quiet for you. Mine was squealing, so right when I start up, just for a second, so I just wanted to tighten it up a little bit. I was only able to get on that top adjustment bolt about 3 clicks on my ratchet wrench per turn with the room that I had in here available to me. So I did that about 25 times just to put, oh, I don't know, maybe put another 2 or 3 turns on that bolt, 2 or 3 complete turns. That's just what I'm comfortable with. You don't want to over tighten the belts, so you want to tighten it to be just enough to quiet everything down and keep that belt from sliding around on the pulleys there when it starts up. So if it doesn't work the first time and you tighten everything down, just do it again until you get the result that you need. Here's a quick picture of everything that you need to do this belt tightening. Just a 14 millimeter socket. I've got mine on a 3/8 ratchet, and a 12 millimeter socket, and a short extender. Looks like it's I don't know, 2.5 inches, 3 inches. Okay, I'm going to try starting this thing up now and see how well I did. Okay, once you get the adjustment done, do not forget that you'd have to tighten the lower bolt there and this 14 millimeter over here back in, and tighten them up good and snug so that thing won't move with the motion of the engine, and loosen up your belt again. That's important. Okay, here we go. I'm going to turn the key and turn this thing on, and if you hear a wild squeal, then I'm going to turn this radio off. Oops. And okay, listen up. Aha! No squeak. So I must have done something right. Alright, that's it. Happy fixing.